Hello, it's good to have you join us. This is your favorite program coming to you from NTA2 Lagos Network Center. We are always delighted, I like to say, because we know that you are there patiently waiting for us to unravel, to unveil again yet another distinguished Nigerian. A Nigerian who is passionate about how the story or the narrative about Nigeria is being either replanted, rebroadcast, or renewed. And so today again, we are going to be looking, there's something that seems to be true about Nigeria in all instances. And that's about the fact that Nigeria is latently and naturally creative. So how did that come from? Or where did it come from? How did we get to that situation? But is that creativity a positive aspect of our lives? Or have we misused that creativity in a way that Nigeria is also losing focus and losing all the potentials? Nigeria is ranked as the giant of Africa. In some instances, some of my guests have come here and have said to us, giant in what terms? Now, so we are going back to that creative sector. It is said that with the Nigerian creative sector, we should be generating about 2.5 trillion naira annually. I'm not sure we are anywhere close to that. It is also said that the Nigerian creative industries very humongous. We have so many areas, so many aspects of that lifestyle that we can look at and actually market to the world. It is also said that, well, Nigerian youths are not doing enough, that mostly Nigerian youths are lazy, Nigerian youths are yahoo, Nigerian youths are, well, just good for all sorts of malfeasance. So we said to ourselves, why don't we get some of these youths into the studio? The Gen X of Nigeria, the next generation, the today's leaders who are still maybe tomorrow's victims. Now, so let's come into the studio. Let's look at what the issue of how we are creating Nigeria or recreating Nigeria or degenerating Nigeria can be looked at holistically. Everybody will look at it and they will put our issues on the table. Then you, a part of the conversation, so you call in, you ask our guests, our distinguished guests, what you think is not going right. So who is our guest for today? It's a double barrel that we are going to be shooting today. First, I have with me, well, a darling friend, somebody who is very courageous enough to say to herself, no, the story of Nigeria will not end in the negatives. I'm going to do something about it. So I will occupy a space and then mentor people and redirect the minds of youths to see that their talents, their God-given talents, actually can transform the environment. That is going to be number one. Then we also have in the studio, but a young man who also said to himself, well, Nigerians are very creative, Nigerians are very industrious, Nigerians are also very bold. So he's going to be intervening in their lives by making sure that startups don't become start dead. So we also look at this. These are the two guests we are going to be, well, chatting with today with all of you so you can be a part of how that conversation unveils. But for now, let's give you a tip of the iceberg. Thank you. Now, so the secret is out. Omonigho is in the studio. You already know a little bit about her because you can see the narrative that we showed you here there. So on your behalf, let me say, Omo, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
You can see the way she smiles. That is a smile that is very captivating. But I'm sure many of the students don't enjoy this smile, do they?
Well, I've been told I have a stern face, but I mean, it's a cover.
Okay, just a facade.
It's a facade.
Ah, okay, great. So that is, you have to pay me, or if you're a student, if you're working with Omonigho, now you're getting to see that that's just a facade. So she's very, really soft inside, and that is what we're going to be finding out today. Now, Omo, let's quickly look at it. We know that you are in the fashion sector, the creative sector. This creative sector is reputed to be very rich. Even the World Bank has already speculated what you can do with Nigeria's creative economy. Are you happy with some of the figures you've had to see? Can you juxtapose those figures with what is happening on ground?
The figures are most of the time projected. In other words, this is what could happen if the creative economy were given wings to fly. You know, but is it our reality? Is it what exactly is happening? There's no lights. There are no grants to be given. Everything is just extremely difficult, and we know that, you know, like I'm a creative. Creativity comes from the spirits, and you must be at peace. If you are not at peace, where do the creative juices flow? But in spite of these extremely hard, yes, we're still creative. You know, I was telling somebody, I said, the average Nigerian is the most evolved of the human race. And I am not joking with you. Can
you say that again, please?
The average Nigerian,
Nigerian
is the most evolved of the human race. We excel at everything we are given as long as the conditions are right. That is why all over the world, in classrooms, everywhere, we excel. Professors say, you see that Nigerian, watch out for them in the next 5 years. They'll come top of their class. There's a reason why. Our brains are more evolved. Our taste buds are more evolved. Our reasoning is more evolved. And that is why there's a conspiration. I feel that there's a conspiracy out there, you know, amongst the United Nations, I beg to differ, that say, you know what, constrain these people. Because if they are allowed to grow, if they are allowed to prosper, they will take over the world. That is why I'm sorry to use this bad example. We can scam people because, and it's not necessarily always juju, because we see ahead of you. You know, you are there, nice human. Doesn't matter whether you're black, blue, or green, but we are Nigerian, and so we are more intelligent, and so we can see things that you cannot see, and you know, we're just smiling. And you're falling for everything, and then you are angry that you were scammed. But you saw clearly the writing on the wall. But the thing is that we are ahead of you.
Now, so why have you not seen that politically and in terms of government relationships? Why is that lacking in governance?
There's a wind of change blowing, and can't you smell it? There's a wind of change coming. I think it's amazing that I'm able to air my political views here without hindrance. Osinbajo is like a David, unwilling, just happy tending his father's sheep. And then God says, I have chosen you to replace Saul. And somehow anoints him and puts him in the corridors of power, aka Saul's palace, and gives him the perfect opportunity to slay Goliath and be king.
So we are almost seeing that change happening here.
It's coming. It's not going to be easy. But the youth of this nation, just the way they arose during NSAS, they have to arise this time around with their PVCs and get that man in power.
Okay, now, another current issue or trending issue on the table is this. Do you see the digital age with all the implications of artificial intelligence and the robotics and machine learning? Would that lead us to probably a stress-free and frictionless creative capacity? Do you think that can also enhance how we can realize the humongous talent that we have in this country?
Everybody's going 3D.
Yes.
All the fashion brands from Gucci to Fendi are showing fashion shows in the metaverse. They are buying shops in the metaverse. Gucci is accepting cryptocurrency. You know, these are all well and good. But how do they translate to us? Have we gotten the basics right? Don't you realize that lights, electricity, you need electricity to be able to run this metaverse? Do we have that? Laptops. The average laptop that works well is over 200,000 naira. Does the average creative have access to that kind of money? Okay, you use what's it called now? Software like Marvelous Designer,
Yes.
Clo 3D.
Yes.
Okay, to design 3D clothing. Do we have access to this? They are subscribing at $50. For the average American, I mean, $50 a month is not a big deal, but it's a big deal to Africans. These things, are they readily available? So, but the thing is, despite that, maybe that's the reason why we go out there and we excel. Despite that, we are still conquering these things. We are getting our generators. We are providing our own electricity. I'm sorry to have to reveal this, but there are certain cracked versions of these things, and we have to because we have to be at par with these people. We're not getting formal training. The average white guy gets formal training for these things. They have access. It's made easy for them. We have to fight for these things. But I assure you, we will be at par
soon.
Very soon.
Okay, I like that optimism. I like optimism. Now, the question I would like to ask now is this: as a visionary pathfinder, okay, you have already initiated remote learning, remote interaction. This is long before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay, the pandemic now made all of us to come to know what that is. Now, so do you think that we should employ the experiences you have shared in that area in the way we? How do I say that now? I don't want to say rejig, reformat our educational system. Don't you think that educational system now should be along the line that you have already,
Anybody who is not employing remote learning is you're just sticking yourself in the ruts. Yes. I wanted to go to London College of Fashion back in 2006. My aunt had already paid I was going to do a short course there. My aunt had already paid for my fees and everything, and I was denied the visa, and that stopped me from getting that British degree. But now I can easily get it by going online, and for a fraction of the costs, that it would have cost me at that time: education, airline ticket, visa fees, and all of that. It's so easy now, as long as you have internet connectivity.
Yeah.
You can get any certification from any part of the world, whether it be Parsons or London College of Fashion or Central St. Martin's. So the internet has broken down these walls. Remote learning has broken down these walls. Of course, the pandemic made us realize we had to be forced, to
accept
remote learning. So if you're not employing, even in primary schools, you're not employing remote learning. Secondary schools, you're not employing some form of remote learning. You're just being stuck in the ruts. So
now, without being unnecessarily okay, quickly, viewers, let me give you the numbers so you can join Omo. You can query her, you can question her, or you can commend her for what she's doing. We have not talked about what she has done, but let me just quickly give you the numbers. Make a phone call quickly: 080 5975 3044. 080 5975 3044. Let's have your voice so you can just talk to Omo. Or if that voice is dropping because of technical issues, then send us SMS and WhatsApp on 070-3340-8755. 070-3340-8755. It is part of what your story is going to be if you can get to talk to Omo on time. Now, quickly, Omo, let's look at that fashion illustration series that you did. Now, some people said that was quite courageous. I mean, it's life impacting. It's different from what they've seen because you did it in collaboration with some global names and all that. Now, so what is the future trajectory? What are we trying to define here?
I'll go back a few steps and let viewers know why I even did this in the first place. Fashion illustration, some way, somehow, has been hidden in the Nigerian fashion space. And the ridiculous thing is that in the garment production cycle, is the very first point you're supposed to...
It's the point of entry.
It's the point of entry. It's the first thing you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to sketch out your design, create a pattern of it, create a sample, and then mass produce if you want to mass produce. It's the very first point. How did Nigerians go from carving
From the
out
entry
from the entry
to the
right to the end. How did they carve that out? And I'll tell you why. How? Back in the 80s and 90s, we had this. Sorry, I have to drop these names. We had these things like City People Fashion and Style, where they will go to all these Owambe shows and then take all these photos, and then you now come to your roadside sale and I want to copy this style, and it's still being done.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with globalization and then the internet, we realize that is such not a cool way. In fact, if your designer is still doing that, your designer is not creative at all. So fashion illustration is just slowly but surely climbing, to the surface.
Space, yes.
Yeah. Now, I have a problem with what the international community sees as African fashion. Because of its smallness, because of its inability to grow as fast as what is happening in the West, they call us it's sustainable, it's ethical. We're not polluting any waters. We're not doing any wastage because of the small quantities in which we are, producing.
Yes.
But it's just basically a lack of development, not because we are trying to protect the environment. We're just not developing as fast as we should.
Pace,
yes. So their vision of African fashion is some woman at a loom, she's spinning her yarn, and then she's singing folklore songs. And I'm like, oh my God, this is our narrative. We have crazy talents who are doing cutting edge stuff in this country, and this is what you're showing the world. No, I had to change the narrative.
Okay.
And so I was like, you know what? I am going to put together the biggest fashion competition.
Brands, yes.
It wasn't really about fashion illustration. It was just about showing the world what, Nigerians, Africans can do in terms of fashion. And I had these grand plans, of, because I know that this kind of competitions, if you don't have the right kind of prizes, you're not going to attract the right kind of talent.
Yes.
So I went cap in hand, asking for sponsorship from different companies, and all I kept getting were no's. And I sat down exasperated, and I reached out one last time to Sarah Mino. God bless that woman. Now, who is Sarah Mino? Sarah Mino used to be the head of Vogue Talents.
Okay.
Vogue Talents is the biggest fashion scouting agency in the world. And then she was also head of, she was also a big editor at Vogue Italian
Yes,
Vogue.
yeah.
And then most importantly, she happened to be the niece of Francesca Susani, who was the Vogue editor-in-chief for over 20 years. She passed on, she died from cancer a few years ago. And so there's always been this love for Africa. I'd invited her some time before into my group to, speak with members.
Yes.
And she obliged. It's like asking Buhari to come to your house to come and eat with you.
Yes.
And he says yes. So when she was like, okay, yeah, I can do it. I will not only because I will not for the show. I just wanted her to provide publicity because of course she has international eyeballs.
Yes.
To just put it on her page. She was like, I'm not going to only put it on my page. I'm also going to judge the finals. I was like, hey, okay, that's all I need. That's the go ahead I need. And basically because of that, it attracted people. We had over 100 entries.
Yes.
And then, we scaled to the final 10, and she picked her best 6 after 4 rigorous weeks.
Wow.
Now, what was the essence of the competition? When I say the essence, the details of the competition, I took the biggest names in fashion in the world.
Yes.
Balenciaga, Balmain, Gucci. I think there's the last one I can't remember now. And I took their pieces and I juxtaposed African elements. The Edo coral beads,
yes.
The cowries, the tea fabric, which yes. I found out was called anga. Yeah. I didn't even know that was yes. what it was called. Yes. African elements, and juxtapose them, and was like, if you had the opportunity to design for Balenciaga today, and to bring your African signature, what would it look like? My brother, I was blown away. In fact, people were like, you know what, you judges, I'm very thankful I'm not a judge, because this is crazy. Come and see talent.
In this same Nigeria? In
this same Nigeria. In fact, because of the things I was posting, I got, some people approached me from Europe, and they were like, we can't believe this is coming out of Nigeria. We can't believe this is coming out of... These are digital illustrations. These are, comparable with what our students are producing. How? because they know that we don't have what they have.
All right. Now, don't forget the number again. Please try and join because Omo, she's very passionate about this. And now, if you don't get to ask her all the questions now, you may miss out. Call in on 080 5975 3044 080 5975 3044. Make a call now. She will speak to you. If that is not working, SMS or WhatsApp on 070 3340 8755. 070 3340 8755. Now, I like the excitement in this contest just profiled for us. Now, so going forward, are we sure that we can actually change this narrative? Are we sure that the Nigerian youths we want to buy into the hard work that you're going to be deploying to achieve what you just narrated for us now?
The essence, the end result of putting this competition together was to actually get an international design deal, because that's the future for African fashion right now.
International design deals.
International design deal where we would be approached by one of the big names that we featured and say, you know what, let's see if we can
collaborate.
Yes, let's see if we can make this a reality. Because I'm like, this thing is happening so seamlessly with Nigerian Afrobeats. That's the reason why Afrobeats is this big, because of these international collaborations. Okay? Why can't it happen in fashion? So
remarkable.
So we are looking towards having these international collaborations and finally putting African fashion on the world map and saying, you know what, see African fashion in all its glory. This is the way it will look if you had the right amount of money and resources behind it.
Okay, I like that. That's again very optimistic. So let's look at the street corner tailoring. How can we change that picture? So how would they need to move away from this element that is so traditional? So it is only the final product that you're seeing. You take the snapshot, you come to your tailor. So how do we help our people to say, no, I can't continue that pattern?
What I'm advocating for right now, beyond the international collaborations, is fashion education. Proper fashion education is not regulated in this country. The fashion curriculums are dated. There is so much that is not right, and even the ones that are,
anywhere near
basic,
yes,
is extremely expensive, are beyond the reach of the street tailor. So I'm appealing to the international fashion schools. Yes, I know that Nigeria on the surface right now doesn't look like a place you want to invest in because of all the terrible news that we are hearing. But don't be fooled. Go and ask MTN. Go and ask MTN. MTN that, when they were coming, don't go to that country. These people are making more money. Yes. I was telling my kid some time back, my kids are my sounding board, I'm like, what is happening in Nigeria with MTN will not happen in any other nation in the world. For foreigners to be richer than, the natives, it will not happen in Israel, it will not happen in America, it will not happen in Europe. The government will find a way to break your wings. And, kind of at least level you or make you give so much away, you will lose half your money. MTN is so rich now. I heard that their shares are much more than, worth more than all the banks
in Nigeria
combined. I was like, what?
It's so impossible.
We have the numbers. We have the people. We have such a vibrant, population, mostly of youth, intelligent youth.
Over 60%.
Where do you have that in the world? So we are ripe and we are at the cusp of something revolutionary in terms of politics. Once the right man enters there by the grace of God, because this nation is so key in God's plans, everything will fall into place.
Okay, now, again, I'm sure my viewers are having a little bit of challenge. Well, if you cannot reach us, then we're going to have you to join us on the social media platform so you can then let's see what you can get from Omo. Now, so what do you consider to be the most critical issues which Nigeria must fix, in our national building strategy to move from old Nigeria to the new Nigeria? We know we're now in the digital age. You just give us an example right now. If you're situating it, you are here in Nigeria, we are still using analog systems, and the whole world has gone. So what are the major things? I know to do with fashion, you have identified some for us. But globally now, what are the major things you think we must fix? It is a must. We must fix those things before we can transform from the old Nigeria to the new one.
When we voted in Buhari, we were hoping that he would deal with corruption. Corruption has crippled this nation and brought it to its knees. The war in the northeast is as a result of corruption. You know, the right ammunition not getting to the soldiers, corruption amongst the generals aiding Boko Haram. So we need to fix leadership. When the right leader is there, it's not about him, it's about putting the right people in place. So he gets his team together. Somebody was even saying, and I totally agree, why not throw the ministers' jobs open? You will be amazed at the amount of experience, talent that is just... That will bid for these things and are willing to do these things even without remuneration. They're just passionate about their nation, and they have the experience, they are well-traveled, they've worked in governments all over the world, and they know how to get these things done. It's like a domino effect. When you push down one domino,
yes, it will go around.
So when you fix leadership, electricity gets to be fixed. Security.
Other key infrastructures,
yes. You know, the Naira increases in value. Naira is so useless right now. It increases in value. Everything just comes alive. Once you can once that singular decision is made about the right kind of leadership, a man who is just willing to see the right thing being done. Lives cannot continuously be shed. Blood cannot continuously be shed, and we're just watching. You know, people are angry. I mean, I was like, you know what? During NSAS, a bucket of gari was still about maybe about 500 naira.
But
and
now
it's 1,000 naira now. 1,000 naira for gari.
When diesel is already over 600 naira. Okay, all right. So what's the last take before we take on? Because it's a double barrel we are running today. We have you. We also have another young youth who's going to be looking at, so what are we mismanaging? So what's your last take to Nigerians? Especially, no, before you say last take, fashion designer, fashion illustrator, is there any difference?
Oh yeah, there's a difference, and then they are united. Now, ideally, a fashion designer should be able to illustrate their designs. But there are some of the biggest fashion designers in the world who don't illustrate. We have an army of illustrators, because you really have to put down that design. And there are even different types of illustrations. You have the fashion illustration, you have the flats, which is just the garments placed on the flat without the body in it, which is what they use in production. You know. So what the fashion illustrator does is that they conceptualize and they sketch. But the designer goes ahead, let's just say that the illustration part is removed from the designer, and so the designer just goes ahead to make these designs. They come up with the concepts, get somebody to sketch, and then the design is made. So related and
different. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you. Yes, you can see the brilliance of the mind. We're going to get her here again. When all of you be able to speak to her.
I want to say something. Something big is cooking.
Okay.
And because you invited me here when, you're
just starting out.
Yes. I'll be giving NTA an exclusive.
Oh!
Breaking.
All right, so let's go. NTA, there you go. And I doff my heart for that. Okay, thank you very much. Please don't forget the conversation continues on the social media platforms. Be sure to go and join us and then speak to Omo, because maybe the technical hitches did not allow you to get to us here. Omo, once again, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And then next time, you must come with my design.
Definitely.
Great. All right. Until then, stay with us. We shall be back.
Hey, beautiful. Your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight.
Now reading page 3.
Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Entel 4G. Entel. Live more.
Yes, thank you for staying with us again. I'm sure we have enamored you with that clip about Kolade, because that's our next, that's the second, how do I don't want to use the word double barrel. Okay, that's the flip side of the coin, because we've had Omo has shown us, but you can see, actually, let me give you a look at Kolade. You can see it's looking very dapper. It's like he's a fashion designer himself. But more than that, it's not a fashion designer, it's a management expert. Now, Kolade, you're welcome to Closeflow.
Thank you so much, sir.
Now, you like working with startups.
Yes, sir.
Startups are new entrepreneurs.
Yes, sir.
Young people who are just starting out in business.
Yes, sir.
Why do you like working with them?
Okay, because at a point I'd started a lot of companies, and I know what it takes to be a startup and the challenges every startup will face. You know, so it's a passion for me to just see businesses thrive. You know, so well, that's one of the reasons I started one of our companies, making sure that every startup have access to me. One of the easy way for you to get access to me is to, if you're a startup, the moment you tell me you need my advice or anything. In fact, I have an organization called CAMP, Kolade Adequate Mentoring Program, that I mentor people. That I have people there that I mentor them, and some of them are.
When you say mentor people, old people like me?
No, I can't mentor. I believe that it's not that I can't mentor people in the 40s, 50s, but
yes,
you know, the people that really need it are the Gen Zs,
youth,
Gen Ys,
yes,
you know.
yes.
So I make, and we can relate. You know, it's a different thing when you are talking or advising somebody that cannot relate with it. There are some things that I may be saying now that you may understand it but not really relate, because you don't know how we feel. You know, how it is, how difficult it is to do business at times, you know, the ups and downs, you understand, you know, and the way it is in Nigeria, our country. So there are many things that comes aligned there, and I make sure that I make myself available for youth generally and startups, because I believe that if you see any organization, any country that will succeed or be prosperous, the startup must be taken with utmost consideration. You must make sure that the startups are doing well. You know, if you look at the history of America, you look at the history of Britain, you see all those things there. The likes of Ford then in US,
yes,
the likes of Rothschild family, a lot of people there. So you know, I realized that if we can make sure that these startups they succeed. You know, for example, let's say now we have a lot of unemployment in Nigeria.
Yes.
So if every startup is even employing just two, let's just say just two.
Yes.
And let's say we have 100,000 startups. That is
200,000.
We have 300,000 people that have work, because the person that is maybe
the
pioneer
startup is one already, yes,
employed. So if we can do that, that is going to solve a lot of problems, because we look at what is happening in Nigeria today about the insecurity, about the unemployment, everything still
and the anger on the streets.
anger. While I was coming, I was telling my driver that he was driving. I said, "Boy, be careful. People are hungry in Nigeria. They are just angry for no reason." And we understand that, because it's not easy. It's not easy for an average Nigerian to survive.
Okay, now, whilst we're looking at that, some sociologists,
yes,
you know, they have also speculated.
Yes, sir.
And they have looked at the fact that, okay, maybe we need to do a deep reflection,
okay,
on the Nigerian educational system. That perhaps, you know, the system we are still using is analog, whereas the world is going digital. So,
yes,
you went to school here in
yes,
Nigeria. So,
yes, sir.
How does that grab you?
Oh, that's what they said is right. Absolutely, we need to do a deep reflection, because, for example, now, I studied transport management in school. I majored in maritime, I further in management, and one day I sat there, I said, imagine a transport management student that cannot drive. Just imagine. You are a graduate. You went to school. I studied for the course is 5 years.
Yes.
But I eventually used like 7 years because of strike.
Yes. Again, that's
because of strike. You understand? And not that I didn't
that's
have
an
any
infraction
extra.
on its own, yes.
Yes, I didn't have any extra, but because of strike, I used 7 years in school. But you look at it that the education system. You see, when you do studies about countries that are doing well, you see many things in common. Education is always coming up. Always, they don't joke with their education system. Foundational. So if you look at, people don't even want to go to school anymore, and it's because it's not being attractive. For example, now I graduated from university.
7 years.
7 years. I used 7 years. Am I sure of the job? I knew from school. I know a guy that we went to the same school together. This guy is good. He's hardworking. Make sure that he does everything. I mean, because I knew God helped me to know the direction Nigeria is going early. So I started business as early as my 100 level in school. So I in fact, God helped me to the level that I paid my house rent myself, my school fee myself, fed myself from 200 level. I told my parents not to send me anything anymore, So, but not everybody have that understanding.
No, please say that again, so that our viewers can hear that. Can you say it again so they can?
Okay.
At 100 level.
Yeah, I started my business. In fact, my first day in school was when I started my business. So my mom gave me 15,000 naira for pocket money. So I went. I lived in Ibadan. So I went to Dugbe in Ibadan. So I went to Dugbe Market. I went to buy Okirika. So I turned that 15,000. But when I got to school, I washed it, ironed it, starched it, and started selling it. That money I doubled it, and I still had even some clothes to wear. So that was how I started, and from there I went to laundry. From there, I've done a lot of business, printing. Now I'm into real estate, which God is helping us to redefine the status quo in real estate industry. So not everybody will have the kind of mind I have. Not everybody will want to go through that stress because it's stressful.
Wait now. Why wouldn't they have that kind of mindset?
Now. So let me because at times we talk about our story and we don't. That's one of the reasons why I have a lot of young people around me, because I make it real with them. You understand? It's I would say, because now what I knew then, maybe I was inspired because nobody told me. You understand? So I was in school. I knew. I used to tell my friends. I knew that I used to say something. If any of them they're watching me, I said that Nigeria does not have a plan for you. So you used to tell your friends that? Yes. Because you were convinced that you don't have... Yeah, Nigeria does not have a plan for you, so you got to have a plan for your life. So I knew that I have to have this certificate. Yes. I have to have it, but I can't use that to work. They can't even... average graduate, how much do they even earn? You understand? So it's something that... But in this... Now this, I graduated close to a decade ago.
Yes.
So when bringing it now, there are a lot of people that even our education system need to be revamped. Some syllabus they've been using for 20 years is still what they are using. Now when they brought that syllabus, there was nothing like internet. There was nothing like Google. Now if you see average young guy, say, oh, daddy Google it, mommy Google it. They life is more easier now. Not that you have to cram it. So I think that needs to be revisited. And she was talking earlier. Yes. She said she was talking about leadership and everything. I seconded that because
that opinion.
Yeah, because you see, a leader. How do you know a leader? A leader will not spare anything on education, and they will make.
That's
sure
how you know a leader.
Yes, you know why? Because when people know, they won't take nonsense. When people know, they will. You see, if you look at Nigeria now, the part of Nigeria that is really not taking nonsense like that is Southwest, because we are probably the most educated. So if you look at the North now, they just wake up. This coming election now, what they are waiting for is just somebody just telling them this bill you are voting for. And no research, nothing. So they are crippling the education system deliberately. You understand? So if that can be revisited, you know somebody that loves you by with the information they are giving to you.
Okay, yes, somebody has said that before, that actually one of the elements of how to misrule is to deny people relevant information.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, but how do you see us convert the resilience and natural ingenuity of Nigerians, especially youth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because that's what you just exemplified here,
yes,
into a formidable unifying democratic power to trigger the revolution that we are looking for? How do you see it happen? We have talked about NSAS, yes, we have talked about this, but how can we actually, in practical terms, see how that can happen?
Okay, so now I will not support the youth here. You know why? Because we can talk, or can we
should
do?
not.
You know, I'm one of the people that I've been involved in the electoral processes since 2011. I've been voting, and I've been
campaigning.
In fact, I've even literally tore all the system. I've worked with INEC before. I've been a party agent before. I've been voting all the only time I didn't vote was when I was INEC, because if you are working with INEC, you
cannot
don't vote.
Yes.
So I've been involved. I have my voter's card. You know, so if you're saying that you don't, I used to tell people that you can't be complaining about the situation of Nigeria if you are not involved, and you don't need to run to get involved. I'm not running for any post right now, but I'm involved. I'm involved in many.
Speak to our youths, please.
You understand? So make sure that you just get involved, get your voter's card, be a party card carrier, any party of your choice. Nobody will just make sure that you are making. For example, now they've broken the system has broken to the smallest unit of word. Do you even know your word? You know, all those things that we have to be informative. Do you know that the youth alone can unseat any president in this nation?
Yes.
Because it's a country that have over 60%. If your vote does not count, they will not give you something to vote. I used to say that my vote does not count. No, if truly do you, and you see, this thing is affecting every system. I'm into real estate, and I understand how it is affecting us. The policy they are making, everything is affecting us. But if you have leaders that have the heart of the people in mind, and they are not selfish, you know, I was talking to somebody. I said, see, they said they are making policy, but I said that is not affecting them. That's why they don't care if it affects the people. So far, it's not affecting them. You understand?
That's the kind of leadership that
you understand? We are saying that the dollar is rising. Do you know people that are benefiting from it? If some set of people are not benefiting from it, they will not let it rise. You understand? Dollar is like 600 now, and I'm sure that it will keep going up.
All right. Again, like we said to you on this program, my producer just reminded me again that this conversation is about you. So don't be silent. That's what he also said. Please call in now, because I'll run the numbers again for you to look at those numbers and then join this conversation. Maybe you have a different opinion from what he has expressed so far. For phone calls, maybe you want to hear his political voice. They call us on 080-5975-3044, 080-5975-3044, or send us SMS or a WhatsApp message with your query or with your question on 070-3340-8755, 070-3340-8755. Let's be a part of what he's saying. He's saying that you also have to play your role if you want to change in Nigeria. Now, some analysts have said that Nigeria is hostage to 4 fatal factors. 1, perpetual mass illiteracy.
Yeah.
Second, the impunity of the elite.
Yes.
Third, religiosity.
Yeah.
Then 4th, tribal bigotry.
Okay.
Do you think these 4 factors
yes,
are real?
I agree, but I would say everything still boils down to the interest. That number 2.
Number 2 there, we're looking at the impunity of the elite.
Of the elite. You see, when the elite benefits...
Hey, hello, Madam Terry.
Confidence you have displayed that
hello.
you can actually mentor people and so go on. I love the way you were explaining that from your first day you went into the school, your mom gave you 15,000 and you started doing your business to pay your fees. This is one thing I've known from the recent. I've not heard people struggle like this. Because you know when you tell people that money is not easy to get, people tend to blackmail you, especially when you're from the same parent. You know, I passed through the same thing. But when I told my younger people that you see this money is hard. You need to work hard to get money, to earn money for yourself.
Yes.
You're saying, because you don't want to help them. So I want just to encourage you
Thank
to
you.
keep doing this
Thank
good job you're
you.
doing, so that
Thank you.
at least they can also see somebody they can refer to that, oh, this person has done it and it's working for the person.
Thank
And
you.
for your real estate business, keep it up.
Thank you so much.
Please, can we have your name? We missed your name. Can we have your name?
Okay, my name is Pharmacist Teresa. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Oh, Mrs. Teresa, thank you so very
Thank
much.
you so much, Mrs. Teresa.
Okay, all right, bye for now. All right, now, so she's saying to you that she that is very admirable.
Yes.
Now, so let's bring that to what we're talking about,
sir.
the elitism and the impunity that seem to pervade everything in
Okay, so like everything, you see, a system that is built on ignorance will always favor the elite. Let me say that again.
Yes, please.
A system that is built on ignorance will always favor the elite. Now, you see, the education, I'm not surprised that all this strike is happening. Actually, you know why I'm not surprised? I've seen it. Everybody that have been with me
Because
for
you
the
spent
past
7 years, when
You
you
understand?
spent 5 years in the university.
I use all together, aside from the school internal strike, the general hospital strike, all together I used like 1 year. There was a time I used 6 months home. 6 months, like twice. So it's like a normal thing. I pity the doctors in the school I went to. Some of them used 10 years. You understand? So they are making it not attractive so that they can achieve
Their own aim.
their own end. See, it is this, and you have to understand this is a game. I tell people that one of the reasons
Game
why
of life.
you understand one of the reasons why you are not supporting this person on code, this person, is because you are not close to them. If you are close to them, you may be supporting them because you are getting something from them. So, but we know that this is a matter of, for me now, I've fought through it personally, ups and downs. I've lost millions in business. I've made millions in business. I've gone to the low to the up, and I've personally trained myself. You understand? By next month taking some courses from Harvard. You know.
Okay, hold on, Deji. Hello, Deji.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Please, quickly, speak to your.
Yeah, I want to tell Mr. Kolade that he's doing a great work. Mr. Kolade, well done, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Deji.
Thank you for all you do, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, please, I want you to, I'm planning of getting a land of 2 million naira.
No, we can't
Please,
discuss that
can
on this
you
show.
tell me,
We can't discuss that on this show.
and I want to tell some of my friends, what assurance do we have concerning the land, sir?
We can't discuss that on
That
this show.
it will be safe from any issue, sir.
Thank you, Deji. We can't discuss that on this show. You have to reach out to our guest later on after the show. Then it will now advise you on what you need to do. Thank you for calling.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Now quickly finish up on that. So we
Okay,
can go.
so what I'm saying is this: we have to, aside from what the system is, we all know what the system is the education system has been crippled, but you have to get to know yourself too. You understand? Like I took the pain of reading books, hundreds of books. I have a lot of books in my library, my e-library.
You built a personal library.
I have huge. In fact, that's my greatest asset. I take them everywhere I go to. If you want, I can give you my clothes, I can give you money, but my books, I don't give it to you.
Okay, I like that. I like what you just said there. Now, let me just share this with our viewers and you. $250 million in a space of one semester has been spent on foreign education by Nigerian parents. So, how does this trend impact not only our educational system, but the deepening poverty gap in the country? $250 million in 3 months.
Well, you know, if you are a parent and you really have the resources to spend with the current situation of Nigeria, you take them out. So now you're saying, how does it impact our economy? We are seeing how it is impacting it already. Because when you can take in 3 months, you are taking over $200 million out of an economy to another economy. You know what is going to be. So we just need to plead with our leaders. Because we're still pleading, we have to plead
At this stage.
But we all have the option of either taking anybody out coming next year, 2023.
Yes.
We all have the choice. Do you have your voter's card? So let me just plead with them. Can they just please make sure, because you see, an idle hand, somebody that is idle will do and undo. Most people, if you're in school now, even lectures, I've been through that process. So even when lectures eat you, you will not have time to be thinking all manner of things. So let them just resolve this and let them do whatever they need to do to get this young chap back to school. You can imagine as terrible as our education system is.
Yes.
You can imagine how great guys are emerging from this education system. I've not gone outside Nigeria to do to school.
Yes, and yet
and I'm like this. People know, anybody that work with me understand that I'm not because I'm praising myself. I know what I have, my capability, and what is here.
Yeah.
You understand? So, but they should just please. This is their future. This is their future. Some people can't afford this. Many people can't even. So they have not even hitting. You now afford paying millions for school
dollars.
fees.
Yes.
You can't do that. So the 40,000 they can afford, the 50,000, even if they will just have that, let them even just do it. The government have what it takes to do this thing. They should please. We are begging. We are pleading. Just please do whatever needs to be done for these chaps and let them go back to school. Please.
Okay, now while we are talking about that, it's something that you just identified, the element of critical thinking and emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Do we have that as part of our curriculum?
No. No. In fact, if you want to use emotional intelligence, the school that I went to, I won't mention the school name. You can go and Google it. You see some lecturers come in and they would demoralize you immediately. They are just there to just terrorize you. Those things should be removed out of the system. That's one of the reasons I didn't even... because I believe that we are all humans and we should be treated with love and care. And we are equal, no matter the age or your status. And my staffs, they know we are friends. I tell them we are friends. We relate, no superiority. There's no boss here. You understand? I make sure that I give them a level playing ground. You understand? So if you're not a lecturer, that my school fee is what is paying your salary, and you are not terrorizing me, because if I don't give, you will definitely frustrate me. So I have to give into that. So the emotional intelligence is not there. The critical thinking is not there. For example, now, because I decided that I will not be cramming, I will read book to understand and write the way I understand. It was maybe once I had to be in school, and I know what I'm writing. That if in fact my lecturer does not, when I went for IT, when I came back, I realized that what my lecturer was teaching me was wrong, because I served.
You're not experienced it.
I served in a Papa Port. I know that. Let me use an example: a bill of lading document.
Yes.
They taught me as if it was a huge textbook, whereas it's just like a sheet of paper. And I go there, I say, imagine they don't even understand this, and they read it too, and they are just pouring it. You understand? So the critical, they will not let you think, because if you think and you write, they will say this is not what I wrote in the textbook. All those things should be taken out of the system. Let people read how they understand.
And then
pour it down.
Yes.
They understand this thing.
Okay, all right. I don't know what my viewers will say. I'm sure many of them could not reach you for obvious reasons. But Kolade, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
We hope to have you again. Maybe by the time you come back next time, you're probably going to tell some Nigerians they can win something if they can get answers to some of the queries they're going to give to them. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. So for our viewers, I always say to you, the conversation is never over, because we'll stream again on all the social media platforms so that you can actually join this conversation with our distinguished guests. Let's have your comments. Let's have your queries. And let's have you maybe your own rebuts to some of the things they have said. But for now, thank you for watching, and it's bye for now.